CSXSports in association with BoxInc here in the Ulster Hall with Mark Conlan. Mark, how you doing?
All good, mate.
Just want to start off by talking about the project at Conlan Boxing. You know, working with your brother. How's that feel?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's something we've been talking about for a long time. Something to kind of after boxing, more so than anything for me. I was always thinking, but now the opportunity came up before the field to do it, and Jamie asked me, "What do you think?" And I said, "Oh, let's do it. Let's take a swing at it." And we have, and we haven't looked back since. So the ball is rolling. It's going well. It's working with your brother. It's working with your brother. It could be bad, but the fact that he deals with me as a manager as well, he kind of knows how to handle me and knows what information to give me and what not to give me at the right time. So yeah, it's been great.
So see, Jamie does most of the talking outside the ring.
Yeah.
You're still doing yours inside the ring.
Yeah.
I just want to touch on, I don't like talking about fights until they're over the line, until dates are set. But we've just seen in the news that Eddie Hearn has won the purse bid for the Leigh Wood fight.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 venues they've talked about.
Yeah.
Nottingham Arena, Belfast and New York.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that, or what would you prefer?
Well, they've talked about Nottingham City or Nottingham Forest Ground, the City Ground, whatever it's called, and that's where Leigh Wood seems to want it. And Eddie Hearn had mentioned it when he was mentioning the other venues as well. But you know, it looks like it's going to happen around March time, so St Patrick's Day kind of feel. I don't think a fight outdoor in March is doable, especially in the UK with the weather. It's just March is like is winter now, really, like, isn't it? It's kind of February, January, March. Everything is kind of winter, so it's different. But yeah, they spoke about New York and also Belfast. In my opinion, I would love to be in New York at MSG simply because I started my professional career there, and that's where I would like to win my first world title. I've always said that, so, and I always thought that was always kind of in my head. I always mentioned that, and the fact that that's a possibility is great. If it doesn't happen there, if it's in an arena in Nottingham or in Belfast, I'm happy. It's no problem. Don't care where it is really, but for me, my sway to would be New York, and it looks the front runner at the minute.
St Patrick's Day one. And as I say, with Katie Taylor and all, you could fill
Makes so much sense.
Upstairs in the garden, so you could this day.
That's what we're looking at. I think the fact that the Zone have Katie, and obviously they've won the purse bids for this. Why wouldn't it make sense to have Katie deliver someone the Serrano and Michael Conlan versus Leigh Wood in the big room in the garden? It does 20k plus some fans easy. So on St Patrick's Day especially, it would be unbelievable. So yeah, I think it's definitely doable. I think obviously Katie fights in December, so it probably leans on that there to see what way that goes.
Yeah, and before we get over and ahead of ourselves, if you won a world title, what would your aim? When you win a world title, what would your aim to be bringing it back to Belfast right away for the first defence, or?
Yeah, well, listen, I think the winner is supposed to fight Leo Santa Cruz after. So whether it goes to Belfast or not, I don't know. But my first opportunity, if it's not Leo Santa Cruz next, and I have a defence, of course I want it in the field. I want it in the field in August. That's where I would love it to be. And even if it was Leo Santa Cruz, I would love it in the field. How good would that be? 20,000 in the park, it would be unbelievable.
We've seen his history with an old friend of yours, Carl from Leo Santa Cruz, may want to come to Belfast.
Nah, I don't think he would. And to be honest, listen, he would have the Colin shots power because he's big money back in there with Al Heyman and stuff, and he is the super champion, even though he hasn't boxed the weight in 3 odd years. But yeah, I think it would probably be out of Vegas on Cinco de Mayo or something.
Well, you touched on the field there, and I just want to recap on the last field in the summer there. How do you feel it went for the first show that Conlan Boxing have put on?
I think it went amazing. Now, if I was looking at it from Conlan Boxing point of view, there was a few wee things which need to be tweaked and changed and fixed and tightened up. But in terms of our first show, unbelievable. In terms of me doing the field, even compared to the 2019 year, I think it blew out of the water. Less people there. Even I think the atmosphere this time. Obviously with COVID, nobody being out, and this being the first big event we had, the atmosphere was just something different and something special. So for me, I didn't think we'd beat 2019, but that smoked it for me.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get you back on feel a show with the world title.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up, I want to talk. You were up at West Belfast Sports and Wellbeing Centre.
Yeah.
Give us more information of what they do for young kids and stuff.
Yeah, listen, I'm an ambassador for the guys and what they do for the community of West Belfast. You know, they're a hub where you can go. Listen, I don't know how long it is. The waiting list is to get some counselling. It's nearly impossible for kids to get counselling when they really need it right away. But these are guys who are there. There's a hub up there. The Dale Farm, isn't it? Dale Farm?
Dairy farm.
Dale Farm's the milk. Dairy farm up in the dairy farm, and they're there and they're willing to speak to people right away. They've got people there. They've got help around, and they're just helping us speak more about mental health and the awareness about it, raising it, and helping battle kind of all these kind of things people are going through and struggling with. So they're a great charity, a great setup for West Belfast and for us people.
Well, of course, someone like yourself can help a boxer. You say mental health, it's just not spoken about enough. But most kids look at boxers and they look up as hard men, who won't go and talk. And now I was saying yourself, maybe that'll push young kids to go and talk.
Yeah, well, listen, it's something I've been very outspoken about my whole career. I've seen how the effects of suicide on families, on friends, and on friends' families and stuff. So, yeah, it's been a part of my life growing up. Hearing about it and seeing it, and having connections to people who have done it and stuff. And it's terrible. It's so sad,
yeah.
And the fact that people don't speak up is just heartbreaking. And I always said, and it probably does come a bit harsh at times, but when someone's gone, I actually don't care about the person who's gone. I care about the family which is left behind and the devastation which is left behind, and that's the worst thing for me. Dealing with families and seeing families who I have seen and spoke to, and seeing what's left behind, and the heartache and heartbreak which is caused for the rest of their lives, it's horrible. So, like I always do say, you got to speak up and you got to talk and reach out to anybody who it is. As long as someone speaks, there's people who care, and I don't care if I don't know you. I care. You know what I mean? It's simple as that. People care about life, and it's not to be wasted like that.
Well, don't want to keep it too long. Who are you looking forward to seeing Friday night?
I'm looking forward to seeing Lewis Crocker. I think pound for pound, best prospect on the island. I think he's a fantastic, ferocious puncher, but also has great technical ability. And I think his last few performances, he's starting to show more maturity. He had the gut check in that last one against the German, and showed he could dig down and bite down the gum sheet when he needed to. So, I think he's going to come in here on Friday night and put on a down performance and get another KO win. But also, I can't forget to mention the hammer. Paddy McCrory, one of the nicest men in boxing, and I think that Paddy, anytime you watch him, is excitement. He gets hit and he hits people, and he's showing that every time he hits harder. So, two big KO artists in the same gym, ready to put on a performance on Friday. I'm looking forward to watching both of them.
But we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for talking to CSXSports, and good luck with everything in the future.
Thank you. Take care, boys.